Hello, all, and welcome to Not Just Another White Woman's Podcast, The Beauty of Transformation. On this podcast, we interview successful and powerful women of all cultures and backgrounds who share their insights about their transformations to success. These women have deep wisdom about life's challenges and joys and how they got to where they are today. Breaking down the patriarchy, this podcast also delves into topics that build us up as women and those who identify as women. And I am so excited to have Samalie Rivera here today. So
Okay.
glad she's here. Hello. And she's joining us. She is a holistic personal development coach who guides driven founders, creatives, and professionals from burnout to embodied leadership. Her unique approach is built on a powerful foundation as a board certified health and wellness nurse coach, somatic coach, certified Yin Yoga teacher, and certified women's circle leader. Drawing from her background as a psychiatric nurse, she creates profoundly safe, traumatic informed space that moves beyond discussion and into the body's innate wisdom. She guides leaders to a life where their vision and well being move in complete harmony, helping them build unshakable resilience and lead with a power that is both graceful and profound. Somali, thank you so much again for joining us today. I'm excited for you to share with us what more about what you do and how you got where you are now.
Awesome. It's such an honor to be here with you, Amy, really. And how did or what do I do? So
Yeah.
essentially, yes, I am a somatic coach. I'm also a yoga instructor, which I love yin yoga. It's very introspective. And also, I do health and wellness coaching. And really, what I focus on is helping people really go within because we tend to be so externally focused.
Mm,
And, when we're so externally focused and we're neglecting our insides, it tends to feel us leaving depleted.
mm,
And, I mean, a lot of my work, how I got there was really myself because, you know, um, I'm a woman that loves to achieve, if you ask me pretty much any time in my life, I'm in a certification, a program, working on a degree, pretty much I'm doing something to achieve something. So I found that, I was just not doing well mentally. And I found that, you know, even like my body, just overall, it didn't feel good. So I was stressed, I was burnt out, and that led me to look within. And from looking within and connecting to my essence, or whatever you want to call it, because there's so many names,
mhm.
um, I just found myself feeling more fulfilled and more grounded and just more connected to my work. So that really inspired me to bring this to other women because I know a lot of high achieving women that feel the same thing, burnt out, stressed, and they're just not fulfilled. But when they make that inner connection, life just feels so much better.
Yeah, agreed. So, I'm curious, for myself and our listeners. Um, First of all, we know you're a nurse, and many nurses go through burnout, unfortunately, in all sorts of different roles. And you mentioned that you did, kind of introspective, interpersonal work on yourself. For our listeners, can you share with us kind of where that started for you? Like if they wanted, if there's other women who are struggling, whether they're a nurse or not, um, could you give us an idea of kind of where you started to kind of get that rolling to look more inward?
Yes, that's a great question. So, I actually started with yoga.
Mm,
Yoga, oh my gosh, yoga is my love. And truly, I started in 2020 around the time of COVID, the beginning of COVID, also the beginning of me being a nurse as well. And, as a new nurse, it's kind of, I don't want to say the word crazy, but for lack of a better word, I'll just say that. But I was already feeling burnt out as a new nurse.
Hmm.
So that caused me to want to do something for myself because, I went into nursing wanting to help people, wanting to make a difference. Yet I felt like I wasn't even taking care of myself as I was
Hmm.
essentially I was pouring from an empty cup, and you
Yeah.
cannot pour from an empty cup if you
Hmm.
want to serve others. It really starts with you. So
Yes.
yoga led me on that path, not only physically taking care of my body, but mentally and spiritually taking care of myself. And, it wasn't anything like excessive, like hours of yoga within a day. I
Sure. Yeah.
mean, even if it was 10 minutes of moving my body, having that me time to connect to
Hmm.
myself, to really discover my needs, that's what made that's what made the difference. And I continue to use yoga in my life. I mean, even going down into the philosophy of yoga because it's a way
Hmm.
of living. And yes, yoga has been the most powerful thing for me. And just a few other things that have been useful for me have been journaling, really taking the time to see what's going on in my mind. And, it doesn't have to be anything perfect. You could simply do something such as a brain dump and really
Hmm.
just transfer all the chaos that's within the mind onto paper so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. It's like a burden melts off of you
Hmm.
when you're doing journaling. And just one more thing that I highly, highly recommend is doing some form of meditation. That could be a guided meditation, or it could simply be just sitting down with yourself and seeing what thoughts are arising.
Hmm.
One of my favorite things to do, it's like a dancing meditation. And, I love that because that's more somatic. And
Hmm.
the thing is, with movement, it moves the trapped emotion, the trapped energy that's within your body, and it helps to transmute it. So, for example, say you're moving your hips. We
Hmm.
hold a lot of trauma, a lot of emotion, tension within our hips. So if you move your hips around, you may find that you are crying or even feeling angry. And what that is your body transmuting what was stuck there. So
Hmm.
you're able to eventually, over time, have a shift.
Yeah. Yeah, I relate to that, the holding the tension in your hips. I actually have been doing some yoga recently that has a lot of hip, like opening your hip work, and it's so helpful. Yeah, yeah, I really appreciate it. I love yoga too. It's wonderful. So, so yin yoga. So that is that where you started was in yin yoga, or did you I mean for you personally before you got certified and everything?
Yes, so I started off with vinyasa. So
Okay.
there's like several forms of yoga,
Yes.
so many. I'm
Yes.
trained in vinyasa, hatha, and yin yoga. So I actually started off with yoga with Adrienne. Love her. Highly recommend her. I did like a 30-day challenge with her, and it was truly transformative. So I was guided to yin because I have a strong desire to connect with myself.
Mm,
And, with yin, what is yin? Basically, yin is when you hold poses for 2 to 3 minutes. And these are floor poses. Now, people get scared when I say that because it's like, oh my gosh, I have to hold these poses for so long.
right.
But really, you have props. So, blankets, bolsters, just props to help you stay in that position because you don't want to force yourself.
No,
And
right, because then things will hurt and it shouldn't be pain. No.
yes, exactly. And potential for injury because you're,
Mm-hmm.
targeting the connective tissue.
Right.
So there's so many benefits. One of my favorite benefits, like I said, is just the introspection, looking within, while you're holding those poses, dropping a question in the body. For example, what do I need to know? And letting whatever needs to come to the surface come to the surface. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, it's just very powerful when you have a journal and you're, really asking yourself these powerful questions to, move in the direction of growth.
That's great. I have not personally tried yin yoga yet, but I've heard I know quite a few people that love it. And I think a lot of it probably has to do with that connection to self. And I know all yoga is that way, but I think it sounds like there's something different about yin yoga in that way. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Due to its slow pace, you know,
Mm-hmm.
way of being, it for sure it's all yoga is powerful to me, but yin yoga, it's just a very juicy practice to help you dig deeper within.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so transformative.
Thank you so much for sharing all that because I know, when people hear of like transformations and challenges and things like that, it's nice to hear like, well, what steps did you take to get to where you are? So I appreciate you sharing that. Um, so I was going to ask you because you talked about the somatic coaching that you do. Um, can you tell us a little? That probably involves some yin yoga, I would imagine at times, but can you tell us a little bit more about what that is like?
Yes, yeah. So I
Because
just
some
got
some people might not know what, the somatic piece is. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely newer to the field.
Mm-hmm.
So somatic coaching, my favorite coaching. It's so powerful because what somatic coaching does, it helps you tap into the body's wisdom. So, typical coaching, we tend to focus on the mind and,
Mm-hmm.
problem solving through the mind. Great. And the mind, I mean, I love the mind. I mean, I'm always studying the mind. It's so powerful and my favorite
Mm-hmm.
organ, to be honest.
Yes, yes.
Um, but truly, when you pass the mind and drop into your heart, drop into your body, you're able to tap into messages that the mind cannot retrieve because truly the body communicates with you before the mind does. That's through different textures, different sensations within the body. That might be, you hear say like some unfortunate news and then your heart starts racing,
Mm-hmm.
or someone could say a comment to you that didn't sit right with you. You start to feel yourself tense up. But then you go around the people that, are good for you. They're healthy for you. You find yourself relaxing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just how the body is just, it has so much knowledge. So when you bring this into coaching and you're asking yourself powerful questions, your body is communicating through sensations as to what it would like you to know. And, we live in a society where there's a lot of fear.
Mm-hmm.
There's yeah, just a lot of fear, and it causes us to contract and tense up,
Mm-hmm.
that and other factors, but that's one of the factors. And, it makes getting communication from your body a bit challenging because you have different layers. You have a guard up, now you have
Mm-hmm.
numbness, and then beneath that, you have the emotion, and it goes even deeper and deeper until you get to the truth. But there's all of these layers that you have to go through. Now, with somatic coaching, it's not that you'll get your answers in one session. You're working through the session
Right.
to get through these layers to get to your truth. So,
Right.
yes, somatic coaching is body-based coaching and it helps you to access the wisdom of the body, which is very, very powerful.
It really is. I don't know if you've read The Body Keeps the Score, which is a wonderful book, but it's all about like how our body like just shows up in all sorts of, situations, especially like in traumas, when traumas have happened and where we hold tension maybe in our shoulders, our neck, our hips and things like that. Excuse me. And so I think, yes, somatic coaching is new, but I think it's just so revealing, and so healing. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, I think that if um people don't do anything else, like looking into somatic coaching is like, yeah, really can really be helpful. Because I think we hold so much tension in our bodies. It's just kind of where it goes. It does keep the score, right? Our body does keep the score with what's going on in our lives. Yep.
I
Yep.
100% agree. It really does. And, just going back to the trapped emotions, like what is
Mm-hmm.
emotion? Emotion is energy and motion. So that's why it's so powerful. Like when you open up in different areas of your body, you're moving that energy. And just the body, it's just, I love my body, and
Mm-hmm.
I I say my body is my temple, because it is,
Mm-hmm.
just so grateful that I was gifted with myself. And I have to remind myself of that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Because, sometimes the media gets to you,
Yes.
these negative messages saying, you have to look this way, you have to,
Yes.
just all of these things that could kind of warp the mind a bit.
Yes.
When you actually step into appreciating this beautiful creation of a body that you were gifted with from source or whatever you want to call it, it's like, wow, like let me
Mm-hmm.
appreciate this.
Yes. Yeah, I know a lot of the work I do with clients and coaching is the body positivity, just like being grateful for our bodies, where they're at now, what they have, what they give us, that we get up in the morning, we're able to do the things that we do. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, being grateful for that. So, still kind of going on the lines of the somatic piece, you mentioned like a dancing type of meditation. So, if someone was wanting to know how to do that, is there um, a link or someone that you recommend, or is it something you just kind of do freely, or what does that look like?
So I'm currently doing a training right now just to deepen my knowledge. I'm always, like I said, deepening my knowledge.
Hmm.
Um, but anyways, in this training, we learned something called it's abbreviated PFF, which is Primal Feminine Flow.
Hmm.
And basically, there's different steps to doing it. But simply, if you want to do a dancing meditation, all you have to do, I recommend getting music where there aren't any lyrics,
Hmm.
kind of like instrumentals, or me personally, I like kind of hypnotic kind of
Yeah.
music, and I'm trying to think kind of like mystical kind of music,
Yeah.
and you let your body naturally move to the beat. So close your eyes, I recommend, if you feel
Hmm.
safe. If that feels uncomfortable, gaze to the ground.
Yeah.
And then just move your body how it wants to move. It won't necessarily look sexy. It might look sexy, but even if
Hmm.
it doesn't, that's okay.
Hmm.
Just move your body how it wants to move so it could release whatever is constricting you, whatever is
Hmm.
holding tension, just release it. If you got to do hip circles, move your chest to really open up your heart, do that. Just do what your body needs. Listen to your body. Instead of letting the mind lead, let the body lead, and you will feel so much better. Even if it's 10 minutes, just go with the flow. Go with the flow.
I love that. And it seems so simple, but like it can really, really be healing.
Oh,
Hmm.
very, very healing.
Yeah.
And if you want a song with lyrics, you could do that too. I just have to throw that
Hmm.
out there. Personally, I love music without lyrics when I'm doing this like meditative exercise
Yes.
because it frees my mind more. It's like more open because, a certain messaging isn't like guiding me in a certain way. But that's just me.
Yeah. No, I agree though. I do agree with that because I think you and I have both led meditations, I'm sure many times for individuals and groups and things. And I kind of agree even for my personal self. Like our minds are so busy anyway. Like, mine wakes me up sometimes in the middle of the night, and your whole idea about writing things down, that helps me sometimes to like write things down so I can go back to sleep. But yeah, I think non-lyrical music, whatever music is freeing to you, right? That gives you that sense of letting go, right? And because I just feel like when there's words in it, yes, it does kind of can direct us a certain way and give us certain feelings. So, yeah, I think instrumental is much better. Yeah, for that.
And this just came to my mind. If you want music that could like really help you move that way without lyrics, look up ecstatic dance music. I,
Ecstatic dance music.
yes, oh my gosh. I love, love, love ecstatic dance. I actually discovered ecstatic dance when I was in Guatemala for my yoga teacher training. And, it was so much fun because basically with ecstatic dance, it's substance free, no alcohol, no drugs,
Hmm.
anything like that, no cell phones. They want you to be barefoot and you're just essentially moving your body how it wants to be moved, typically no lyrics. And, honestly, if you want to lie on the floor, it sounds silly, but you could literally do that. It's literally whatever your
Right.
body wants to do. And you're just
Yeah.
moving, you're grooving, and you're just having a good time with yourself. So it's very beautiful. You have the option to dance with people as well, but we do ask for consent to dance with
Sure,
the
of
other
course. Yes.
individual. But it's just a really expressive way of moving yourself that feels good and it could really help you to connect to yourself.
I like that. Very nice. Yeah. That sounds great. I've never tried that before. It's something I'll have to try. So, what else was gonna say? I had a couple of things written down here. Let's see. The the certified women's circle leader. Can you tell us a little more about that, what that means?
Yes, yes. So I took a women's circle leader training last year. Amazing. I've led a few circles, and basically, what it is, I do it on the new moon. You could
Hmm.
also do it on the full moon. And, it's a way to get with women, gather in a circle, a safe space to express yourself. We do meditation, we do reflection, sometimes there's movement, and we do rituals. For example, setting the intention for what you want this new moon cycle to look like
Hmm.
for you. And, I've explored themes such as shadow work, also self-love, exploring the womb space, the womb that we have because our womb space has a lot of answers. And it's so powerful. I mean, I'm just telling you, the body itself, it's very powerful. So it's a great way to connect with other like-minded women and develop that emotional intimacy with other women in a healthy way. Because, I mean, what truly inspired me to do this was that I recall myself being in another woman's circle. And, it was great, like witchy vibes. I'll be honest, I'm into the witchy kind of stuff. Woo, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, yeah.
But anywho, this circle I remember sharing and I'm trying to describe like what I actually felt. I just didn't feel like it was fully a safe space for me to express myself. And I just got a comment from another woman that made me feel uncomfortable.
Mm,
And um, that really inspired me to create my own space where it's truly like inclusive and a safe space for people to be themselves and, be their authentic selves.
hmm
I try my best to do that. Also, like when I'm setting the container for my women's circle, I, have certain boundaries, I'll say, to
Excuse me.
ensure the safety and, whether that be emotionally, spiritually of other women. So, even there's certain things you can't control, but I try my best to do it. Like if other people are going out and saying certain things,
Right.
was said in the circle, but I try my best to protect the circle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think as coaches or the leading circles or the dance things that you talked about, that those spaces need to be safe and all inclusive, right? Like we want everyone to feel welcome. I think sometimes in our Western culture, we don't do a great job of welcoming everyone. And so I think then when people can find spaces that feel safe for them, regardless of who they are or what they're about, right? Just that, yeah. I know I read, not that long ago, I read a book called Embracing Yoga's Roots.
Mm.
And it was written by a woman named Susan Bertowski. And I wasn't quite sure what the book was about, but it sounded interesting, and it really talks a lot about social justice and things like that, and decolonization, and but kind of like where yoga began and the roots of yoga, and how in Western culture we've really turned it into not what it was meant to be, right? She talks about how yoga was, people meeting in parks of all shapes and sizes and ages and ability, right? And just being themselves and doing yoga together in a very safe, welcoming space. And so I appreciate that you said that because I think, making sure that it's safe for everyone and everyone feels welcome in those spaces.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So I kind of want us to like kind of reel back a little bit, excuse me, and first of all say that you and I met at the American Holistic Nurses Association, and I'm going to say the whole thing because not everybody knows what ANA is when I say ANA, but we met there, and I'm so grateful that we got to meet there. Um, and you told me a little bit about your background at that time, but not everyone else knows that. So um, kind of like if you wouldn't mind sharing where you started before you became a nurse and then kind of what brought you to this path of through nursing and if you had any challenges too along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off with saying when I entered college, I did not even see myself being a nurse. My mother suggested that I become a nurse, but I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I can't even see myself get blood drawn up, and I'm gonna
Right,
be.
right.
So, and also like
I still
science.
don't like that. I don't like people. I could draw other people's blood, but I don't like seeing my blood get drawn.
I still look away too. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, everybody
Yeah.
has it.
So funny.
So, and also science was a bit terrifying for me as well.
Me
Um,
too.
so it was, yeah, very challenging. So anywho, I went into college. I was doing liberal arts and sciences. And then I met this woman in my biology class. And she was in school to be a psychiatric nurse practitioner. And, I was telling her how I want to do something related to like psychology or even like being a social worker. And
Hmm.
she said, oh, yeah, like look into being a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So I I decided to look into it a bit more. And another key person in my life during this journey was my anatomy and physiology professor, Louise Petroka. Love her because she made such a complicated subject so digestible. And
Nice.
she would even stay after class with students to help us learn this complex subject of
Mm-hmm.
the body. And, I took anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 with her. She is the person that gave me the confidence to even like do the application for nursing school. So, I was doing well in college, getting mostly A's. And I got into nursing school my first time that I applied, which I was very grateful for because it's very competitive.
It is. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'm going through nursing school. My favorite rotations were maternity and also psychiatry. And it's so interesting because my first real nursing job I was working in the ER, but I'll say like my first real nursing job was in psychiatry and
Mm-hmm.
actually on the unit where I did my rotation in nursing school, geriatric psych. And yeah, honestly, it's been so great because that has led me to so many places in my life. I did travel nursing in the New England area, met a lot
Mm-hmm.
of great people, worked with different populations, the adult population, some more geriatric population as well. And it's also like as a travel nurse, it's so interesting to see how the different laws within the states impact patients' care. So that was very interesting to see. And just overall, it made me a better nurse, being able to adjust to different environments and different ways of doing things. For the most part, it's mostly the same, but there's, slight differences. So that like really, really inspired me. And it was also nice to not be a part of the politics, I'll be honest.
Yes.
Happens on the unit.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but it was yeah, that's basically my nursing journey. And then it led me to being a nursepreneur, which is simply a nurse that's an entrepreneur. And yeah, I love it. That's where I am with nurse coaching. I did my nurse coaching training last year and I completed it this year. And it's just been so, so amazing. Just learning things like health and wellness, things like motivational interviewing, really like just getting deeper in the process of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Because nurse coaching, it's such a special way of coaching because we look at people holistically. So we're
Right.
looking their mental, their emotional, their physical, their spiritual, their environment, all of the things that typically are overlooked. I mean, if you go into the ER nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, they're looking at you as a headache, chest pain.
Right.
They're
The
not
the one thing you're there for. Mm-hmm.
exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, what are the contributing factors that led to this headache, to
Right.
this pain, all these things. So that's why it's vital to get to the root of what's happening rather
Yes.
than just one aspect of a large pie.
Yes. And and as nurse coaches, we have all our backgrounds, the areas that we came from too. We not only have our medical training, in healthcare, but we also have whatever backgrounds we came from. So for you, it's the psychiatric piece, and you've done some emergency care and things like that. So you have all this other, right, stuff too. Um, yeah. So yeah, we're definitely a unique type of coach, aren't we? Yes, as
Yes.
nurse
Yeah.
coaches. Yes. Yes. Um, so after that, so then you got you got your BSN? Is that where you started, a bachelor's degree? in
So
nursing?
I started off with my associates and then
Okay,
I RN to BSN.
nice.
And I do plan on going back to school next year for my DNP, psychiatric
Mm-hmm.
DNP, with the goal of doing psychedelics, psychedelic
Mm-hmm.
therapist. That's the overall goal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
that's exciting. It's exciting.
It,
Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we start to kind of wrap it up
hmm.
about what you do or any challenges that came up? You know, because sometimes we share challenges that can help others if they hit, you know, a challenge like that to be to get through it, you know? Yeah.
Yes. So my number one advice for anyone on any journey, I know we're talking about successful women,
Mm-hmm.
transformation, it would be to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Self-care, self-development are my biggest recommendations because I have found when I've neglected myself, my life just kind of started going downhill. And at
Mm-hmm.
one point, it felt sustainable, but it was for such a short period of time. And when I added taking care of myself, I was just able to serve from a place that was whole. You
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, really just taking time to take care of yourself and finding your medicine because, like yoga works for me. Like yoga is life. I'll be doing it for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But that might not work for someone else,
Right.
and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about finding what works for you. That could be a 10-minute walk. That could
Right.
be going to therapy, which I highly, highly recommend.
Yes, I do too. Yes. Yes.
Everyone needs a therapist. Like
Yes.
that's a strong belief that I have. And it's so great because therapy helps you to learn about yourself and, gradually grow and let go of things that really aren't serving you.
Mm-hmm.
So, therapy recommend
Yes.
care, your mental, and it's not just one thing. Self-care, it's like your mental self-care, your
Yes.
physical self-care, your emotional self-care, which, a lot of people tend to overlook, just taking care of that. Like what are my emotions telling me? Is it telling me that I need to change something in my life?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Also like spiritual, if that aligns with you. And
Mm-hmm.
just being mindful of who you let into your life because there's this one quote that I love. It's something along the lines of you are the five people that you surround yourself with. So really
Yes.
just being mindful of those people because that's I believe that would be a part of your environment. So environment,
Mm-hmm.
these things, they matter.
They
And just
do.
really taking the time to develop yourself because we have so much potential within us, so much. So really taking the time to develop you, reflect on you, seeing what you're happy with, what you're
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you're not happy with, okay, what steps could I take to change this so it aligns with me? So,
Yes.
all of those things, basically self-care, therapy, self-reflection, self-development, do those things, and you're able to live a more aligned life, which will give you a more aligned business or any
Yes.
endeavor that you're looking to achieve within your life.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I think that's so true with any challenge that comes up, right? Whether it's loss of a loved one or an issue with your business or whatever it might be, right? Just if you're taking care of yourself through, you know, any type of self-care, like you said, it doesn't have to be yoga, right? It can be anything. Like, but you've given us some great things to think about, you know, about you know, examples of things that you have done, but you know, how we search within for what works best for us. So Thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate that. And the one thing I forgot to talk about in the beginning is I usually ask people what state they're in, just so that people know, because I'm in Oregon. So if you would share where you are at.
Yes, so I am in Connecticut, right between Boston and New York.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, and we will definitely leave a link so that if people are interested in, because I know you do, you to no, you know, don't quote me. Like you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you teach like private yin yoga sometimes, correct, for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you do the coaching and the circles and everything. So if anybody is, in Connecticut, or I know you do things virtually too. Yeah, we'll make sure we put a link down there to that. And then also, um, I was going to see if I can find like a link to like ecstatic dance music kind of thing too, and maybe put a sample down there so people can see what that is too. So if there's anything else you think of you'd like to me to add a link, I can do that.